Dear everyone, welcome back to botany session. And in this sessions, we are going to discuss about ecological adaptations in plants. It is one of the chapter of 12th chapter. The chapter is Principle of Ecology. Then what is called ecological adaptations? Adaptation is essential for all living organisms. The adaptation which help the organism to survive in order to survive in different habitat within the environmental conditions. So adaptation is essential. What is called adaptation? Adaptation it is a morphological change in the structure of organisms. Morphologically changes in structure of living organisms, these are called adaptation. I mean how they are changes morphologically in the sense external structures. Externally and internally they have to be changed according to their surrounding. These are called adaptations. So the adaptation which help the organism to exist under the prevailing habitat. You know what is called prevailing? Occurring of the habitat. So if you observe the environment, there are different type of habitats also there. For example, aquatic habitat, terrestrial habitat. Even in the aquatic habitats, extreme saline waters also there. Some of the plant species they can tolerate even the extreme saline conditions, waters and terrestrial habitat. How they have to be tolerate or adapted in the different environmental conditions. These are the topic now we are going to discuss. And based on their habitat of the ecological organism, the ecological adaptations of plants may be classified into one is hydrophytes. The second one is mesophytes. Third one is xerophytes. Then fourth one is epiphytes. Fifth one is halophytes. So based on the habitat of the ecological organism, the organism may be further classified into hydrophytes, mesophytes, xerophytes, epiphytes and halophytes. Then what do you mean by hydrophytes? The plants which are living in the water or wet places or wet habitats, these are called hydrophytic plants. And mesophytes, the word itself, the answer, what is called meso means moderate. The plants which is living in the moderate supply of waters. They are even in the present in the moderate supply of water, they can able to complete their life cycles. These are called mesophytic plants. And xerophytes, plants which are growing in the desert area or little water amount or water scarcity area. These are called xerophytic plants. Epiphytic plants is maximum for orchids. They are very dustless particles of seeds are producing plant are called orchids. The plant they do not growing on the soil. They are grow attached to the branches of the other trees. These are called epiphytes. For example, vanda. It is one of the habitat of adaptation that is called epiphytic plants. Then last one is halophytes. I mean salt water. Some plants can tolerate the extreme salinity. These are called halophytes. So these are the ecological adaptations of plants. Now we are going to discuss hydrophytic plants. Hydrophytes, the plants which are growing in are living in water or wet places. These are called hydrophytes. So based on their relationships on water and air, it's further categorized into one is free floating hydrophytes. Then second one is rooted floating hydrophytes. Third one is submerged hydrophytes. Submerged floating hydrophytes. Then fourth one is rooted submerged hydrophytes. Then fifth one is rooted emergent form of hydrophytes. The rooted emergent form of hydrophytes, it is also called amphibiont hydrophytes. So once again I would remember, and based on their relationship of water and air, these hydrophytes are further categorized into 5 types. One is free floating hydrophytes, rooted floating hydrophytes, submerged floating hydrophytes, rooted submerged hydrophytes, then rooted emergent form of hydrophytes. It is also called amphibiont hydrophytes. Amphibians means they can adapt both water and also land mass also. These are called amphibiont hydrophytes. I will explain one by one. The first one is free floating hydrophytes. They are freely living in the waters or floating on the waters. Hydrophytes. In this type of plants, they are floating on the water surface. The remains of the plant body, they have to be contact with the air and waters. They do not contact with the soil. They are freely floating on the water surface. This type of hydrophytic plants are called free floating hydrophytes. For example, Wolffia. Wolffia. It is commonly called duckweed. Also, it is the smallest flowering plants, Wolffia. Then Pistia, Eichhornia. These are the example for free floating hydrophytes. It is a better understand. I will draw the diagram here. It is underground stem. Our subaerial stem is called stolon. Subaerian, partially above the soil, partially below the soil, the stem. And here it is a leaf of this Eichhornia plant. The roots are developed at their nodal regions. What the type of root system? It is a fibrous root system. A cluster of roots arises at the nodal region. The root cap is replaced by root pocket is present. It is a characteristic of hydrophytes. Usually, all the mesophytes and xerophytic plants, the tip of the root is called root cap. What is the function of root cap? To protect the root tip. But in hydrophytic plants, instead of that root cap, root pocket is present. Root pocket. It is a leaf, lamina of leaf. It is a stem. So, it is a water area. And in this type of plant, they are freely floating on the water surface. These leaves of the plant, flowers of this plant, they have to be contact with the air and also water. But this lower portion, root portion, they do not contact with the soil. It's freely floating on the water surface. For example, Pistia and also Eichhornia also. So it is Eichhornia. In Pistia, they have long petiole. The petioles are swollen petiole. It is a lamina portion of the leaf. It's a petiole. Roots are developed at the nodal region. This type of stem is called offset. Offset. It is partially below the soil, partially above the soil. It is also called subaerial modification of stem. The roots are developed at the nodal region. It is a petiole. The petiole become long, swollen and thick due to the presence of aerenchyma. A lot of air space are present in the long petiole. That is why which help the plant, they are easily floating on the water surface. Long petiole, spongy petiole. It is a lamina. Lamina, you know that it is a flattened exponential portion of the leaf is called lamina. So it is a pistia. So free floating hydrophytes is nothing but they are freely floating on the water. They do not connect with the soils. The second one is rooted floating hydrophytes. In rooted floating hydrophytes, the roots are fixed at the mud. Second, rooted floating hydrophytes in this type of plants, they are freely floating on the water surface, but the roots are fixed at their mud. For example, Nelumbo is nothing but lotus. Nymphea, water lily, commonly called as water lily. The third one is Potamogeton. Then fourth one is Marsilia. It is an aquatic plant. The leaflets are quadrant. Only 4 leaflets are present, Marsilia. So these are the example for rooted floating hydrophytes. Rooted is nothing but it is a mud. See, it is a stem. The roots are fixed to their mud. Root is a mud, fixed to their mud, and the aerial portions has long petiole. The leaf is broad. Especially the floating hydrophytes, the leaf is become flat and broad leaves. Flowers, leaves are floating on the water surface. Young leaves. Leaf, broad leaf. It is a petiole. Young leaves, mud and root. So, leaves, flower of this type of plants are floating on the water surface, but the root are fixed to their mud. These are called rooted floating hydrophytes. For example, Nelumbo, lotus and nymphea. It is a nymphea, water lily, And another one example for Marsilia, if you take the Marsilia, it is a mud. The stem is called rhizome. Rhizome. Underground stem is called rhizome, become thick and swollen rhizome. It is a Marsilia plant. So the leaflets are 4 leaflets only present. So the portion, stem portion fixed to their mud. It is a root, it is a mud, petiole, and leaflets. So in this type of plant, they are freely floating on the water surface, but root only fixed to their mud. So these are called rooted floating hydrophytes. The third one is submerged floating hydrophytes. Then what you mean by submerged? It's completely immersed in the waters. Third one is submerged hydrophytes. For example, Ceratophyllum. And Utricularia. These are the example for submerged hydrophytes, submerged floating hydrophytes. I mean, in this type of plants, they are completely immersed or within the waters, but they are floating. But these type of plants, they do not contact with air, water, soil. They are completely floating within the water. These are called submerged hydrophytes. For better understand here, it is a ceratophyllum. In ceratophyllum, submerged leaves are dissected leaves. The leaves are dividing because due to water current or flowing of water, the water they may easily flow. That is why the leaf of the lamina of the leaf, empty leaf, become dissected, divided. So these are called dissected leaf. It is a stem portion, it's a branches. So it is a ceratophyllum. The leaves are dissected leaves. Especially in submerged form of hydrophytes, leaves are dissected leaf. It is a branches. It completely immersed or dipped in the waters. Similarly, another one, Utricularia, it is commonly called as bladderwort. So it is also called insectivorous plants also. How they are capture the insect for that purpose, they have to be morphologically have to be adapted or modified. How they are modified? Into a bladder like structures. They have the sensitive external hairs like structure. It's a sensitive hairs. Take the internal structures. It produce absorbing hairs. These are the insect larvae. Once The insect, it is detected by this highly sensitive hairs, external hairs. The insects are gets engulfed or gets entangled within this. It's secreting a proteolytic enzymes. What are the functions of this proteolytic enzyme? They digest the insect body and can acquire a required protein from the insect. So this type of plant especially growing in the nitrogen deficiency. So these are called photosynthetic plants. They manufacture their carbohydrate due to the process of green leaf, but they are not able to synthesize enough protein due to the deficiency of nitrogen. So how come to overcome the nitrogen deficiency? To catch the small insect and digest themselves. So for the purpose have to be modified many ways. So it is a valve. A valve also present. If this sensitive has to find out the insect, the valves are open. They may easily insects are gets entered. So these are bladder wort, Atricularia. It is also submerged hydrophytes. They are completely immersed under the waters. The next, another one is rooted submerged hydrophytes. Next, rooted submerged hydrophytes. Rooted submerged hydrophytes. In this type of plants, the plants are completely immersed in the water, but they are contact with the root. I mean, their roots are fixed to their mud. For example, Vallisneria, then Hydrilla plant, then Isoids. These are the example for rooted submerged form of hydrophytes. It is a mud. The Vallisneria, the stem is called stolon. There are two types of plants or leaves as plant in Vallisneria. I mean, both male and female plants are get separated. Such plants are called dioecious plant. The leaf are Vallisneria leaf are thin ribbon-shaped leaves. It is a ribbon-shaped leaf. It is a female flower. It produces female flower. The stalk of the female flower is highly coiled portions. See, the roots are developed from the nodal region of the stem. They are fixed to their mud. It is a female plant. Similarly, male plant. Both plants are get separated. This is a male flower. So these plants completely immersed under the water, but the lower portions, root portions are fixed to their mud. These are called rooted submerged. And similarly, another one is Hydrilla plant also. Mud, stem portion, root. The leaves are dissected leaf, Hydrilla. These are called submerged leaves. Submerged leaves. And another one example for Isoids. These are called rooted submerged hydrophytes. The last one is, fifth one is rooted emergent hydrophytes. It is also called amphibian plants. amphibians hydrophytes. Then why do you call amphibians hydrophyte? In this type of plants are adapted both aquatic and terrestrial mode of life. Aquatic and terrestrial mode of life. But these plants are growing only in the shallow region. You know what's called shallow? Deep less water. That's called shallow water, shallow regions. For example, Rannan plus. It is also called buttercup. Then another one is Sagittaria and Sagittarifolia, Trappa. These are the example for rooted emergent forms. For example of these Ranunculus and Sagittaria, if you take the Sagittaria, there are two types of leaves are produced. It is a aerial form of leaves, have dissected leaf. The leaves are look like arrowhead. It is a underground part, immersed part. So the leaves of some portions are contact with the air and also water. These are aerial portions of the leaf. It is a submerged portions of the leaf. For example, Sagittaria and Sagittarifolia, roots are fixed to their mud. They are dual mode of life. And another one is Ranunculus. Mud, stem is called stolon, fixed to their mud. It is a emergent form of leaves. It shows dissected leaves. The leaves are dissected. But whereas in aerial portions, the leaf are entire leaf. It's a normal leaf. It is a aerial portions of leaf. It is a submerged leaf. Submerged leaf. For example, Ranunculus. So there are 5 types. How the hydrophytes are related to their habitat and water and air. It's classified into 5 types. 5 types over. The next, how they are adapted morphologically, anatomically and functionally adapted. The next, morphological adaptation of hydrophytes. Adaptation. How the hydrophytes are morphologically adapted to survive according to their environment. These are called morphological. And in the morphological the sense, root, stem, then leaf portions. These are the morphological parts of the plant body. If you take the root portion first of all, in some of the hydrophytes, roots are completely absent. For example, Wolffia and Salvinia. The Wolffia, it is the smallest flowering plant. Totally root system are absent. But in some species, root system are poorly developed. For example, Pistia. In Pistia, root system are poorly developed. No necessity of root system. You know that what is the function of root system to absorption and fixation. What is the functions of what is the necessity to absorb water? They already present the aquatic or water. So that is why the root system are poorly. Most of the plants are absent. Some species are poorly developed. For example, Pistia, and some species are well developed. Well developed. For example, Ranunculus. Ranunculus, it is well developed. And another point of morphological adaptation of root system, root cap is replaced by root pocket. I already point out, root cap, it is present only in xerophytes and mesophytic plant. In aquatic plant, it is replaced by root pocket is present. So these are the morphological adaptation of root. If you take the stem portion, the stem is long, slender, spongy. Slender means thin. In submerged form of hydrophytes. These are the characteristics of submerged form of hydrophytes. The plants, those plants which are completely immersed in the water, the stem is long, slender and spongy stems. But in floating hydrophytes, the stem is short and thick. Short and thick stem. It is a characteristic of floating hydrophytes. Floating form stem is very short, for example, offset, very short and also thick stems. But whereas in rooted hydrophytes, the stem is called underground rhizome. Rhizome, it is a characteristic of rooted hydrophytes. Those plants in which the roots are fixed to their mud, the stem is underground rhizome. I mean, become thick and swollen due to the storage of food material. Rhizome. Then another one is how they are reproduced vegetatively. Vegetative reproductions. It takes place through runner, offset, stolon, and root and stem cutting, certain dormant epices, in addition to the tubers. I mean, how they are vegetatively reproduced. The vegetative parts which is involved in the reproduction is called vegetative reproduction. How they are reproduced by runners, stolon, offset. These are the subarrial stem modification. If the stem that grows laterally, and due to death and decomposition of the certain portions of the stem, they get detached from their parent body. So they become, when the conditions are favorable condition, they become developed into another young ones. These are the vegetative reproduction of runner, offset, and also stolon form. And dormant epices. Certain tip of the plant, the remains are dormant conditions because the unfavorable conditions due to the lack of water and food scarcity, their remains are dormant condition. When the conditions are favorable condition, the shoot tip they become developed into another young ones. So these are the vegetative reproduction, and also similarly tubers also. Tuber underground stems become dormant stage. When the conditions are favorable, they become developed into other young ones. So these are the vegetative form of reproductions. The next, leaf. If you take the leaf structure, the leaf is long, thin and ribbon shaped. For example, Balysteria. long, thin and ribbon-shaped vallisneria. And some species are long and linear. For example, Potamogeton. Potamogeton, linear. Yes, it is a linear leaf. Potamogeton. The leaf is linear. And in floating hydrophytes, the leaves are become thick and flat, broad and flat leaf. In floating hydrophytes, for example, Nelumbo, lotus. It is also known as lotus. Then Nympheo. It is commonly called water lily. And some species are dissected leaf. Dissected form of leaf. For example, Sagittaria sagittarifolia, leaves are gets dissected. Or also Ceratophyllum. Also example for this dissected leaf. The Ceratophyllum yes, these are the dissected leaf. Especially subbunge leaves are dissected. Ceratophyllum. And in addition to that, the petioles of Eichhornia, Pistia and Eichhornia, the petioles become swollen and spongy petioles. The next, some of the emergent form of hydrophytes, the leaf shows heterophily. The heterophily in the sense there are two different types of leaves are produced. Emergent form, aerial parts of the plant body. So one is in the submerged form produce dissected leaf. Submerged form of hydrophytes shows dissected leaf. The aerial form of hydrophytes shows the leaf is entire leaf. It shows entire leaf. For example, Ranunculus, Sagittaria, Heterophylla, Limnophila. These are the example for hetero. The word hetero means two different types of leaves are produced. The next, anatomical adaptations. How they are anatomically adapted to survive in their aquatic habitat. For their purpose, certain internal structures have to be modified. Anatomical adaptations. Anatomical in the sense internal structures. Here, cuticle is completely absent. Either absent, if it is present, it is a poorly developed or thin and poorly developed. Cuticle. You know what's called cuticle? Outermost covering of the epidermis is called cuticle. It is made up of a waxy substance called cutin. But here, what are the functions of cuticle? To prevent the excessive loss of water, to check the transpirations. See, they are already present in the aquatic or water body, no necessity of cuticles. So that is why in most of the aquatic plants, cuticle is either absent, if it is present or poorly developed. Take the internal structure. The outermost covering of the plant body that is called epidermis. It is a single layer of epidermis. See, it is a hypodermis. It is epidermis. Epidermis are single layer. Epidermis, outermost covering of the plant body is called epidermis. Usually in mesophytes, xerophytes, epidermis are covered with the cuticle. But whereas in hydrophytes, cuticle is either absent. In case of present, it is a thin and poorly developed epidermis. Inner to the epidermis, that is called hypodermis. Hypodermis. The word hypo means below the epidermis. These are called hypodermis. It is made up of parenchyma cells. And the next, inner to the hypodermis, it is a cortex. Here, cortex are well developed with a large intercellular spaces. Cortex, it is a spongy parenchymatous cells with a lot of hair space are present. These are called hair chamber. Yes, it is a air chamber. This entire structure is called cortex. Here in hydrophytes plants, the cortex are well developed with a large intercellular space called hair space. Due to the presence of this hair space, they are freely floating in the water surface. Inner to the cortex, there is endodermis. Endodermis made of a barrel-shaped parenchymatous cells. It is a parenchymatous cell. Cells are compactly arranged without any intercellular spaces. Endodermis. Inner to the endodermis, there is a pericycle. Another layer is called pericycle. Pericycle. Inner to the pericycle, vascular bundle. It is a xylem cavity. Xylem cavity. Surrounded by phloem. It is a phloem. Phloem is composed of sieve tube. Sieve tube cell. It is a phloem parenchyma cells. These are the constitution of phloem. So another one point actually, the vascular tissues are well developed in the aerial form. They are poorly developed in the submerged form. Vascular is composed of xylem and phloem. And mechanical tissue. You know what are the mechanical tissue such as sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma, then collenchyma. It is absent, but except some emergent form. You know what's called emergent? Aerial parts of the plant body, this sclerenchyma is present, but underground parts, submerged parts, this sclerenchyma is, mechanical tissues not developed. In pith, it is made of parenchyma usually, but here pith is with sclerenchyma cell is present. Where is located pith? Center portion of the plant body is called pith. Pith is made of sclerenchymatous cells. So these are the internal structure. How they are adapted physiologically? Physiological in the sense functionally adapted according to the environment. So the hydrophytic plants have the ability to withstand in the anaerobic conditions. Anaerobic in the sense absence of oxygens. So the plant can survive even in the absence of oxygen. These are the physiological or functional adaptations of hydrophytes. And another one, in addition to this, it possesses a special aerating organs are present. Aerating organ. Due to the presence of these aerating organs, they are easily floating in the water surface. So these are the physiological and functional adaptations of xerophytes. Thank you. Next topic we are going to discuss another videos.